Guys, today we're doing a video on Baruuk. So, what is Baruuk? He is the pacifist monk. And what does that mean? It means that, well, you need to build up your little meter, your restraint, before you can start really doing anything. So getting Baruuk, you will have to do a bunch of toroid farming for Vox Solaris on Fortuna. You will have to max out the first Fortuna rank just to get even Vox Solaris, so it is a bit of a pain. You also need tons of toroids. You do have to, I believe, reach rank 3 with the Vox Solaris, so it's a bit of a pain, but with Necros farming, resource boosters, and any kind of resource enhancers, you will be good. Going into his abilities, so passively, each projectile dodge, each enemy lulled or disarmed erodes Baruuk's resistance and fuels the storm within. As Baruuk's restraint diminishes, he becomes 50% more resistant to damage. So generally, if you use your 1, 2, or 3, you will be draining your resistance bar, which is full at the beginning of each mission. Once you drain it all, you will have 50% more damage resistance. That is a hefty amount. So first ability is Elude. This allows him to have projectiles go straight through him. You will have to do a certain angle in order to go straight through him. So Baruuk, it's not with the camera's facing, it is whereas Baruuk is facing. So 180 degrees in front of you. So anyone generally in front of Baruuk's direction, your projectiles or their projectiles will be going through you. The main issue here is that you will have to be not attacking. So you shoot guns, you can't do your melee, you can't do your Serene Storm. You literally just have to stand there and take it. This will drain your resistance the quickest, but of course you're not being offensive here, so it's kind of an iffy ability. Second ability we have Lull. So Lull launches a calming wave. It lasts 5 seconds on the floor, has a 25-meter radius, so anyone who walks in after the initial cast within 5 seconds does get hit by Lull. It does take a small time before they start going to sleep, and they sleep for a good base duration of 20 seconds. So this one will drain your restraint, not the most, but it will drain it consistently due to the fact it's more of an instant cast and instantly takes the resistance out, so you will be casting this ability a lot. You then have Desolate Hands, so it summons these orbiting daggers to seek out enemy guns, destroying them with a small explosion combined with Elude to double the range. So yeah, you can double the range with Elude. These daggers do grant damage reduction, so I think at least if you have at least 9 or 8, I believe, you do have an 80% damage reduction, which is, again, really huge. This guy's all about damage reduction, so he's pretty tanky. You do have a good 6-meter radius and explosion range of 3 meters. You do have a certain number of charges that do grow with power strength, and same with your damage reduction. So that is Desolate Hands, and I forgot to mention, each dagger's hit actually does drain the resistance. So finally we have Serene Storm. So with restraint eroded, Baruuk commands the Desert Wind to deliver a powerful radial strike with his fist and feet. Each moment commanding the storm restores his restraint. So you actually cannot change this efficiency or whatsoever like that. It does have a fixed rate in which it goes down, and you are doing, well, 40% more damage reduction. You're doing impact damage. It doesn't cost any energy, it costs restraint, and there is a mod for it, as you can see with the status chance. So those are all of his abilities, and we will go into this nice build. So you'll see I have a default build and a Warcry build. I might post a Warcry Baruuk video later. It's not too much different. Actually, no, I'll just do it here. It's not that much different. So anyways, we have Corrosive Projection to reduce the enemy armor. We have Reactive Storm. This is a essential mod, I would say. It makes it so that his Serene Storm, well, it does adaptive damage, as someone else mentioned in my Revenant video. Baruuk is also able to do adaptive damage, so Revenant's not the only one. We have Vitality, just for that extra health, Adaptation for, you know, even more damage reduction, making this boy extra tanky. We got Agar Secrets for ability strength, we got Streamline for efficiency, Umbral Intensify. Of course, you don't have to use the Umbral, you can use the regular version. This is for even more ability strength. And look at that, Blind Rage for even more, and Prime Flow for energy max. In the Excellent slot, you could put Sure-Footed or Prime Sure-Footed, or you can go for more Power Drift, or you can, of course, not form that and just go for something else like Stealth Drift. Alright, yeah, if you want enemy radar, enemy sense, I believe you can also, there is one for range. It's on the tip of my tongue right now of which one is Cutting Drift, if you do want a form of that. Alright, so that is my build for Baruuk. Of course, we have Arcane Energize for just more energy. Arcane Strike is just kind of there because I do not have all of these Arcanes, but you know what? All you really need to use is Energize nowadays, so what do you know? Anyway, so let's get to the test. So of course we have the level 100 sortie test, and we're just going to simulate this. We're going to grab these. So I'm just going to show off Lewd first. So Lewd, you can see bullets are going through me, same with melee attacks here. As long as I'm looking at them, if I turn my body, they start hitting me, but if I turn my body towards them, they're not really hitting me anymore. Unless that happens. So, that's why we don't really use a Lewd too much. It doesn't do too much on here, but if we start using his other abilities once I'm revived, so we can start using Desolate Hands and Lull. So you can see I casted Lull, they are slowing down, it does take a while, and they do fall asleep. So everyone here is falling asleep. This is huge. We can do a melee finisher if we do have our melee weapon, as you can see, as my daggers are going out, they are knocking down Restraint. And same with when I cast Lull. So these two abilities are what you're going to use the most to drain your Restraint, and after getting your Restraint, you can use your Serene Storm. I realized I forgot to show my Desert Wind build, so I'll do it right after I just decimate all these guys. So you can see, you are doing adaptive damage, so whatever damage a type is best against them, you are dealing that. And yeah, he kind of just cleans the floor. So, to the Desert Wind build. So because of the augmentation, he does have 100% status here. If we go look at the base stat, yeah, because of the augmentation, we do have 115% status. That is huge if we didn't have that. So let's just switch off of this, take off the reactive storm. We can see that it's only 15%. So this is why we're building for power strength, is because we want that status to be at 100%. So each strike does proc that good status chance. All right. So, moving back here, moving back to the build, what we have going on here is we have True Steel for crit chance, we have Berserker for attack speed, Prime Fury for attack speed, Pressure Point for melee damage, Fever Strike, North Wind, and Molten Impact. So this is to give us viral and heat damage. This isn't too necessary just because you are doing adaptive damage. I just like using these. You can go, of course, go for more critical strikes, more critical damage, and of course an Umbra build if you so choose. The reason why I'm not using Condition Overload is because Condition Overload only procs if you actually physically hit them, like with his hands, not the waves. So if you have Condition Overload and the waves are hitting them, it's not doing the extra damage. You literally have to go and hit them with your fist in order for it to do extra damage. And finally we have Spoiled Strike. This is just for extra damage. The minus 20% attack speed doesn't do much when you're already at 1.35 attack speed, plus Berserker and Warcry if you so choose. And yeah, so we will show this off, without putting them to sleep, because when you put them to sleep, you do extra damage to them. So we will use this. Actually, we'll just use this first batch just to knock down our stuff, just to knock down our restraint, and the second batch will be without them completely, without the sleep at all. But you can see it's really a lot of damage. I'll go over the combos as well, because why not? So you can see the slide attack. What it does is that it knocks up enemies. Your regular button mash without moving just kind of pushes them away. Your moving button mash doesn't do anything. Your moving block, what it does is that it kind of it pushes them up into the air in that certain area, and your holding or not moving block combo pulls it in with kick. So this is like your bread and butter. This is the one you want to be doing the most, just because you can start pulling them into you and make sure they don't get blasted away, since the energy blasters do blast them away. So you can see I used all my strength, so why did I do all that for? Alright, let's try to get some just with the daggers alone, and a Lewd. Alright, that's enough. That's a nice amount. So you can see they're not asleep, and boom. We are still cleaning the house with these, as they would say. Another thing to note is that the waves of Desert Storm actually disarm, I believe they disarm the enemy as well, I'm not too sure. Someone can write down in the comments and confirm or deny that, or deconfirm that, I guess. So yeah, you are dealing a ton of damage here. This is why Baruuk is quickly rising to one of my favorite frames. He does take time to, of course, get and to build up his abilities, which is a bit of a problem for some people, but for me, I usually like to go play a bit of solo, a bit of survival with the arbitrations and steel path, and Baruuk is pretty much godlike in that tier, in that sense, where he is able to consistently keep his restraint down, and by doing so, he's consistently putting out his Desert Storm, he's consistently getting these nice amounts of damage reduction, and of course dealing tons of damage. So, one last final test, but except we're going to do a Warcry build. So, the benefit of the Warcry build is, well, it's not too different from the initial build, and what Warcry allows us to get is speed increase, decreasing the speed of enemies, and a little bit of armor increase. The armor increase isn't what we're too worried about. You can see that these abilities do have a high drain, but given the fact that we're only really using Lull, Desolate Hands, and Warcry, it's not too much of a problem. So, what we want to do, of course, is get energy, and we want to jump in. You always want Desolate Hands up, just for the damage reduction. We put them to sleep, and then we use Warcry. So this allows us to attack that much faster. Like, yeah, you're cleaning house even quicker now. But of course, in the Simulacrum, this is an ideal situation where you can get lull on a good amount of targets in order to get it down. In most gameplay scenarios, such as exterminate, capture, or whatever like that, you will be moving, so you won't be able to get that lull off, and you'll be relying on Desolate Hands, which does take time to get your daggers out. And as you can see, my daggers do Circles of Companion and other allies. This has been Baruuk. My name's been Sunrisen. I hope you liked this video. If you do, feel free to subscribe. My upload schedule is a bit off because of mainly college and other reasons. But if you do want to see later videos on different Warframes, feel free to subscribe. Feel free to like it, dislike it if you didn't like it. Drop a comment of what you think. What's your builds? Did I get all these facts right? Did I miss something out? Feel free to drop it down there. My name's been Sunrisen again. And yeah, have a good day or night, and I'll see you guys next time.